Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another experiment where today we're taking a look at Thailand and what we can do to get them to become a footballing powerhouse. How will they get on when they are given such a good starting setup? Now, as we're aware, previously we've done this with other nations, and it's the same thing here where we've gone through every single club, given them all the top end of the statistics for youth recruitment, junior coaching, youth facilities and training facilities. So they've got everything they could possibly need to become a great nation for growing their own academy players. They're 111th currently in the world, and their key player is Akantit Panya. Not a bad looking player, to be fair. He looks all right, currently playing in Thailand, but who for? Chiang Rai United. There you go. Normally it comes up there, but I think it's because we clicked on the Thailand section. But there you go. So we've got a little bit of information so far. Obviously, there's the chance of World Cups, World Cup qualifiers, that sort of thing as well over the next few years. So what we'll do is jump ahead, take a look how they get on and how they develop. And the Thai League is currently sat 9th in the Asian Reputation League. So we'll be interested to see if they can grow as well. But let's jump ahead and take a look how they get on. So taking a look here already, few years on, I think it's about 4 years on now, and already they've jumped up to 75th in the world ranking. So we can take a look at who they're around. So they're near the Gambia, Cape Verde, they're higher than China and Montenegro, just below Costa Rica and Qatar and Israel. So some good teams around them there, and a massive leap from 111th we initially saw. Kawin Sawangskiri is the new man to be the top dog at the national level. 17 years old as well, so looks very nice, that's for sure. Taking a look at the schedule though, how have they gotten over the last few years? So if we take a look here, you can see beat China 1-0 in the World Cup qualifying, but if we keep moving on, in the Asian Cup, they did get knocked out, only beating North Korea in that one in the group stage. World Cup qualifying, though, looked very promising otherwise, and it did lead them to, a 7-0 winning against Sri Lanka is not bad either. They played in the SEA Championship, and it looks like they actually won the whole thing, smashing teams throughout the tournament. So a very good outcome there. World Cup qualifying as well here. And they're looking more and more likely that they will, in fact, get through to the World Cup with some of the results that they've had there. Thailand itself still sitting in 9th place, and Bangkok United are still, being the main champions here. Although Port are pretty close, same with Chiang Rai United as well. They're not too far off as well. But let's jump ahead again, see if that world ranking can increase any further, and how they get on there. And things continue to improve for Thailand as they're up to 46th in the world. So who's around them here? Slovenia, Saudi Arabia, above Canada and Wales, and the Czech Republic, only just below Russia, Slovakia and South Africa. So they're really starting to get some form now, which is great to see. Aod Prunagna is their best player. I don't think I've said that right. He's playing for Everton, the left winger. Some good pace on him as well as mentals. His technicals probably could be improved, but to be fair, playing at Everton, a club who's very good in the game. And then also we've got Sarawut Wisachat at Dortmund as well that we've just noticed there. So again, another player that's playing in the European leagues, along with FC St. Pauli and Empoli as well. So there's a few players in there. Looking at the competition though, Thai League, let's take a look here before we look at the other stuff. But they've jumped up to 7th in the rankings for competition reputation, so that'll improve the competition they've got. And we can see that Port and Muang Thong United have both won some titles, or a couple of titles, and Bangkok United still involved, but it's good to see a few more changes. Port has absolutely smashed the league this year, so I don't know what's happened there, but they've absolutely ran away with the league. Taking a look, though, at the competitions and how Thailand have got on, if we jump back to the 2025 season, we can see in the World Cup, they did make it there, losing to United States and Turkey 2-0 and 4-0 respectively. They won in the SEA Championship, beating Singapore on the way 13-1. What a win that was in one game. Then in the Asian Cup, they got to the quarterfinals, losing to Uzbekistan on penalties. So again, not a bad result, drawing against Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And then World Cup qualifying continued for them. Again, in the SEA Championships, won that one again comfortably as well. Singapore beating them 14-0 this time. So continuously improving, that's for sure. Then in the 2029 year, we can see some World Cups, some friendlies as well. But nothing too drastic there. A draw against Australia and Iran. Obviously very, very good results. And we can see that they are, in fact, in the World Cup for 2030, playing Portugal and Mexico in Group C. So we'll be very interesting to see how they get on against those teams. I'll be honest, I'm not sure they'll be able to do much against them. But it's good to see they're back in the World Cup once again. So let's jump ahead, take a look at another few years' time and see if they can continue to improve on their 46th ranking. And it's up to 33rd in 2035. We're another 5 years on, and it's continued to improve. And you can see a lot of their top players are playing in Europe now. We've still got Proengagna. I'm not saying that name right at all. Still playing for Dortmund, which is great to see. He's competing at the highest level for sure, following his move, I believe, from Everton. For £52 million. Jeez Louise, they are some very expensive players. 33rd in the world, though, is massive. Above Jamaica, Sweden, Russia, Hungary, and just below the likes of Ukraine, Scotland and Nigeria. And Wales have shot up the rankings as well. So still very good. Not far off Mexico now, 10 off, who we noticed they were going to be playing in the World Cup if we jump back to 2030. They did draw against Mexico 2-2 and lost 4-0 to Portugal. So it's an improvement from their previous one. And we can see they did, in fact, won the SEA Championship once again, as kind of expected at this stage. The Asian Cup second round, they lost to Japan 3-1. Otherwise, World Cup qualifying looking good as well again, along with the SEA Championship winning that one. I've just shot past a couple of years. But we can see there again, SEA Championship winning that one. Beating East Timor in the final. Well, not just beating them, absolutely destroying them in that one. Losing in the World Cup, 1-0 to Congo and 1-0 to England. That is a much better result, I have to say. That looks like it's a much better result. They've performed a lot better. And you never know. It might be a point where they might start to do well. And they've won the Asian Cup as well. So, I mean, that just shows how well they've got on. Beating Indonesia, Japan and Myanmar in the groups. Beating Tajikistan in the second round. Quarterfinals against Lebanon was 6-0. Beat Australia on penalties in the semi-final. And then Qatar in extra time to win the tournament. So quite the result for them, that's for sure. So it'll be interesting to see if we jump ahead again, how they get on. But what we will do is take a look at the Thai league itself. I think they've dropped down one actually from 7th to 8th. But we can see here that it's now gone from Bangkok United being the top dog to what looks like Muang Thong United. BG Pantham also in there, along with Port as well. But they seem to have won plenty of titles in there. But very, very interesting to see. Thailand seem to be doing very, very well with developing their players a lot better. They've had a decent starting point, but nothing spectacular. And we can just see the levels in which they've grown over the years. Up to 33rd spot. But we will have to see, again, I'm sure the win in the Asia Cup helped them a lot in that rankings. But let's jump ahead one more time and see how they get on and if they can continue to improve on that 33rd ranking. And here we are, 2040, and they're up to 18th. This is crazy stuff, I have to say. Above Turkey, Wales, Australia, Mali, Chile, as well as Denmark and Switzerland. Some big nations there. And they're not far off Uruguay, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Mexico, Holland, and so on. So it's quite the jump. Looking at it, obviously they're well above anyone else in Asia. Other ones being Australia. But after that, it's all the way South Korea in 33rd. So they've really become a dominant force. It'll be interesting to see how they've got on, if they've been able to get anywhere in the World Cup out of the group stage. We can see, again, plenty of players all over the world. Chanyut Wiangin is their top dog, playing for Hertha Berlin, and what a player he looks. I mean, very, very nice stats there. An attacking midfielder with lots of good stuff to see. 98 caps, 41 goals for the national team as well. So it'd be good to see how they get on. But before we do, let's take a look at the Thai League. 7th in the world. I mean, that's really strange that they're only deemed to be the 7th top league when they're producing so many talents. But I guess they just don't stick around. There's not enough money there. But Muang Thong United and Port, still the top 2 dogs really in the game, with Bangkok United dropping right down, having originally being so high up. So interesting there. Now let's take a look at what we really want to see is how they get on in any sort of World Cups or anything like that. So 35s World Cup qualifying, of course. We saw that they won the Asia Cup as well. SEA Championship had a little bit of trouble losing to South Korea there in the World Cups just before, and the draw against Myanmar wasn't great in the end though. Being quite confident in that one. World Cup qualifying as well. Group B, so they did get out of the group stage, beating Paraguay 5-1, an absolute domination of Paraguay, and a 1-0 loss to Croatia did allow them to go through. They then beat South Africa in the second round. Unfortunately, it was a 3-0 loss to Scotland in the third round, but I mean, that is a hell of an improvement from what they had been doing. And of course, another SEA Championship win there. And they won the Asian Cup once again. This time, a lot more confident in that one, beating Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan and North Korea in the groups, Kuwait, Iraq and Qatar in the knockouts, and Australia in the final 2-1. This time not needing any extra time or penalties to get through at all. But otherwise, a very, very good outcome. I have to say, it's very cool to see Thailand being one of the teams that has been able to develop the most out of all the teams we've had a look at so far. Getting to 18th, top 20 in the world for footballing nations. Starting at 111th. That's quite the jump. But there you go. We will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like down and subscribe. And comment down below any nations you want to see in this sort of thing. And I'm sure I can take a look. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.